is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
It's yours truly, Probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat. Well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show. O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Andy, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, it's alive, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it on in, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the woman's in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, Probably Pablo, you know, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Russell Gary. Yeah.
Good morning. It's hump day. It's a Wednesday, June 30th. We are ready to rock and roll. Hope you guys are here on the show. Welcome aboard. Yes. On a Wednesday, as we work our way to the football season, right? It's basically what it is. And by the way, we have some great news. So those of you that follow us on social media, you already got it. But happy to announce We're only a little over a week in already, so we have a sponsor. Obviously, EJD Construction has joined the show already, and they are going to sponsor the Omar Kelly segment. So Omar Kelly will be exclusively with us now, Mondays and Fridays, all throughout the year, not just football season, no, all year long. He'll join us Mondays and Fridays. And Omar will also join us when there's breaking Dolphin news. He'll join us on the show, or I'll do a quick emergency podcast or something and get Omar on, and we'll talk about whatever breaking news there is. So, some of the things are going to change on this show. We're going to be a little bit more, even more active than we were the last time around, put it that way. Because normally we had a set time, and it's not going to be just 2 hours. I probably will eventually expand the show when it's all said and done. Maybe we'll go to 3 hours, probably is what we'll do. And then, my crazy ass will sometimes go to 3.5 and 4 and all that good stuff. But anyway, slowly but surely we'll start adding and start, doing other things with the show. And obviously, remember, you guys can support us too, because that's the only way we're going to grow, is by sharing the link, by smashing the hell out of the like button, all those kind of things, telling people about the show, telling your friends about the show. It's incredibly important that you spread the word. And hopefully, the show will grow a lot more, and hopefully we'll get more people and more sponsors involved, which obviously we need to get the sponsors involved. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. So we welcome Omar Kelly aboard on a permanent basis. You'll hear him here exclusively. You won't hear him anywhere else in South Florida. So you'll hear him here on our podcast, on our show, Mondays and Fridays. Okay, so he'll be on with me 8 times a month. And then on top of all the other things that will go on with breaking news and things like that. And I've got a couple of other plans in the works that we are grinding away, and hopefully we'll get that done. So good morning to all of you out there. Good morning for all of us here on the show. Last night, the Marlins ended up losing. Unfortunately, we'll get to that. Basketball last night, Hawks defeated the Bucks 110-88. And I told you that I was really enjoying the playoffs. And now the injuries come, and it's just, you're watching Trae Young. He goes out because he steps on a damn referee, and the referee is, it's like, what I hated about that scene? If you go back and look at it, it's like the referee didn't give a rat's ass. And it's like, all right, he stepped on me, and I'm just going to run down the court. And there was like no real, worry or concern or awareness by the referee, like, yo, you need to get out of the way, dude. You're not part of the game. Referees need to be as separated from the game as much as possible. We don't want to hear from them. We don't want to see them. We want them to be absolutely transparent, because when they do that, that means they're doing their job and we're not doing anything. But if you're in the freaking way, which, you injure Trae Young, and then you see the game start last night and there's no Trae Young, and then you have the Giannis injury. He hyperextends his knee, poor guy. And I got to say, it's funny as hell, the countdown stuff and the free throw. It is completely in Giannis's head. I mean, wow. Superstars aren't supposed to be like that. Seriously, a superstar cannot be bothered by the fans. A regular role player, okay, but a superstar, that's some weak sauce there. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing that all these years in, the guy still sucks at the line. And then now you throw in what the Hawks fans are doing, which is freaking amazing. I mean, I laugh my ass off every time I'm watching that and the countdown starts, and you can tell it's getting to his head. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those deals. And then he gets the hyperextended left knee, and then it's over for them. And I give Atlanta a lot of credit, because they came out guns a-blazing. Lou Williams and the boys played really, really well. I on the flip side, and, Barkley and all these guys were ripping him at halftime, which they deserved to get ripped. because Milwaukee, you start the game and you have an opportunity to do some damage because the Hawks are missing their best player, and yet you can't do it. That's the part that I don't understand. And to me, it made no sense whatsoever what was going on there. But it just unfortunately, this has now gone sour, right? I mean, this is unwatchable now at this point. I mean, it became a blowout. It wasn't even worth. I went to watch a movie. Seriously, the second half, started watching a movie. It just became a joke of a game. I go, forget it. I'll watch the highlights already at this point. Why am I going to even watch this fourth quarter, bro? Let me get the hell out of here. This isn't a matchup anymore. And so, that's all of a sudden now I was looking forward to this, and now I can't even do that. I can't look forward to it because unfortunately we're seeing the two best players, they're out. And that just absolutely sucks. So the series is now tied at 2. And I don't know, bone bruises are bad and they can linger for a while. So I don't know how long Trae Young is going to be out. And is it just maybe this series? Can he be ready for, or at least somehow be ready for the finals? He won't be. There's no way from here on out that Trae Young is going to be 100% for the finals. And you think about the injury, it's on a foot. And you talk about a guy like that, he needs that foot, I mean, badly. He's constantly cutting, and I mean, that's all part of his game. He's not like a set shooter that hangs out on the perimeter and then, okay, the ankle's kind of twisted, but you're not really a driving guy. You're a set shooter, and you're just waiting for the ball to be fed to you off of somebody else's play. Maybe you can get away with it. But if you're Trae Young, where you're constantly trying to break people down, no way, dude. No way. It's a really impossible injury for the guy. And then the Giannis one, I mean, I can't even see him coming back to this series. And let's hope, let's pray for the man that it is a hyperextension, and that's it. Let's hope that there is no tear or anything like that, because I don't want to see that with any star, man. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the NBA. I mean, the NBA, that's what it's all about. It's about the stars, and so hopefully there are no tears. Hopefully it's just a hyperextension. And if it is, then, we'll see how long it'll take him to actually get back. But just sad that, unfortunately, we got those injuries, because it took the wind out of the sails in the playoffs completely. Okay. I mean, look, you in the Western Conference, you already had to deal with the LeBron injury, and then that obviously, the AD injury, which that obviously changed the complexion of that series with the Lakers. And so now we've got, the Suns and the Clippers tonight, Phoenix leading 3-2 with an opportunity to eliminate the Clippers on their court, which would be an incredible feat for this young team. We'll see if that happens tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, sadly, the playoffs last night got stained a little bit, and we're not going to be able to really enjoy it. Now, I will tell you this, and when you look at what's coming up, okay, and this is the part that kind of sucks with the NBA Finals. If Atlanta gets there, Trae Young's not going to be 100% in the NBA Finals. And if I don't need to tell you guys this, okay? Once in a while, I can say something on the show that maybe enlightens people, and they can, oh, hey, I never thought of that, okay? I can't enlighten you here. You know what I'm about to say. If Trae Young's not himself, Atlanta has no shot. They're not I think the Suns will win. They're not beating the Suns. I'm sorry. They're not. I really don't believe that they could beat the Suns if Trae Young is not 100%. And then Giannis is out with a knee. So if Milwaukee somehow can survive this series, which without Giannis, they have no shot in hell to beat the Atlanta Hawks. But let's just say they get through the Atlanta Hawks, you got no Giannis. This is now 2 years in a row that the NBA Finals are stained with injuries because the Heat one with the Lakers is stained. I get it. The Lakers won. They're the better team. They have the two superstars. But the way the Heat were playing at that moment, okay, they had a legitimate shot at winning the title. All right. It was all flukish, but in that fluke, they were on a roll. And if Bam and Goran never get injured, I'm intrigued. I want to know how it ends because Miami's took it to 6 games with the injuries. Who's to say they don't win? The way Miami was playing, the confidence, all of that, they had it going on. Were they that good? No, they weren't. But at that moment, they were. They had it. Okay? That it wasn't a realistic long-term thing, but at that moment, lightning in a bottle, they were playing lights out. So last year's NBA Finals are stained with injuries, and it ruined it. And now this year's NBA Finals are going to be the same way. They're going to be ruined, unfortunately. Why? Because now we've got these injuries that absolutely ruin everything going on with this situation, which absolutely sucks. I mean, that's just that's the part that kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth now because the winner is not getting the full test. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that kind of, as NBA fans, this kind of leaves a void in there that, okay, wow, dude, now the NBA Finals are not going to be watchable. Our girl Lisa is the only one, and Lisa's on there. And Lisa's going to be the only one happy because her sons will be in the final, and her sons will have an easier opponent now because Milwaukee won't have Giannis. I mean, even if he can come back at some point in the finals, he's not going to be himself because he's got a hyperextended knee. And Trae Young, if and when he ever can come back, he's not going to be 100%. It's a bone bruise. That crap lasts for months, man. Remember when Wade had it in the knee? That thing lasted half a season. Bone bruises are brutal, dude. So you got that on a foot, it's over. The NBA Finals are going to be unwatchable. So congratulations, Lisa. Your sons are going to win the NBA Finals. Probably win tonight. Worst case scenario, they win on in Game 7 in Phoenix, and they move on. And that's it. But, man, that's the part that absolutely sucks because I don't have a horse in this race. You know, last year I did because my Heat was in it. Our Heat was in it. And we had a horse in the race. And then, you know, there goes the injuries. And we're like, damn, dude, are you kidding me? Is that really what we got to deal with right now? You know? And unfortunately, even Riley said, I would have liked to have seen what would have happened, you know? Because there's always going to be that doubt for all of us, okay? As flukish as the run was, they legitimately had a shot to win the NBA title. Sucks, man. So now we've got another shitty finals coming up. And last year we gave NBA fans a shitty finals because of injuries. This whole pandemic thing has thrown everything out of whack. And look, I'm not going to blame specifically the pandemic why we have injuries. I'm not going in the LeBron direction. It's just terrible luck. That's all it is. Because some teams don't have it, right? The Lakers didn't have to deal with it. Miami did, right? That's just the way it is. Phoenix is not dealing with it. The Clippers are. Milwaukee is. Atlanta is. Luck. That's all. Suns don't have a major injury. Good for them. That happens. Sometimes you got the luck. Sometimes you get the breaks. And sometimes you don't. And we know exactly what happened with the Miami Heat. They didn't get the break, unfortunately, man. Sucks. Let's do a little roll call. We always love doing a little roll call on the show. Let's see who's on the board. NorCal, giddy up. He's first in. John Rouse is in the house. John, you got to be happy. Ethereum has, while there's been a little dip here, Ethereum is stuck in the 21.5. So you're doing good. You're doing good. It's gonna continue going up. By the end of the week, we'll find out if we're gonna bounce back in crypto, or we're gonna stay in the consolidation period another week or so. We'll find out. A lot of people think the Wyckoff thing is going on now, and so we've kind of done the dip, then we've done the consolidation, and now comes the rest of the W, where they take off and it goes to another level. We'll find out. We will definitely find out. Omar Lopez is in. Steve Chapman is in. Troy Ortiz. The countdown has begun. Puff, puff, give. NorCal says 1 in the air. There you go. Big Rig. 2 Extreme says, what's up, Big O in chat, folks? Gus 1388 saying, what's up, peoples? What have you been watching since football died down a bit? No, I watch the NBA, Big Rig. I like the NBA. I watch baseball too, man. Marlins are frustrating. They can't score with a fistful of dollars in a whorehouse. But I watch baseball too. And then, if there's an MMA match, I'll watch the UFC. I'll watch some boxing if there's actually something good. I'm not really watching golf. That's not my thing. I'll watch a little tennis once in a while if the match is good. And I got to talk about Serena today on the show. Let's see. What else do we have? Herman Cueva is in. John Santos. Ray is in. Let's see. Did you find the right partner for the station? No, I did not. Unfortunately. Let's see. 2 Extreme. I forgot it's hump day. I got to check out Katla IG page. Oh, Katya. Oh, Katya? Is that is there something going on hump day? Not exactly sure. Is that like Hero's girl you're talking about? She's pregnant, bro. It's not, let's see. Shout out to Dolphins Nation Mexico leading in the fan club weekend ticket sales. If they keep it up, they will be the biggest group at FCW's 3 years in a row. Fins up, Armand and Emilio. Good people over there in Mexico, the Dolphins group out there. I met those guys. Lee Michael Morrison, what's up, Big O? Love that classic Dolphins banner behind you. Yes. Thank you, sir. Of course. That's the only logo that counts. This new logo is garbage. Let's see. More the hours, more the merrier. John, we will add. We just need the material and we got to build it up again. Let's see. Tremolio says, I like to bite and chew. Okay. All right. That's good to know, Tremolio. You should bite and chew. Okay. Because, we don't want you choking on whatever food you're eating there. 2 Extreme. Hell yeah. I enjoy Omar Kelly's takes and thoughts. Thank you. That'll be fun with Omar Mondays and Fridays. With you and Omar Kelly teaming up, you guys will provide the most thoughtful analysis of the sports scene. Add Donald to the mix too. Yeah, I'd this is only me, unfortunately. I can't do the whole station. Let's see. Lisa's in. She's happy. Matt Walker says Bucks need to part ways from Mike Budenholzer. I don't know if I can blame Mike itself. That team, if your superstar is not the scorer that you need, that might be the problem there. And Middleton can't show up every single night and be Robin. If he could, then he'd be an all-star caliber, high all-star caliber, maybe all-NBA type player. But he's not. He's kind of one of those borderline all-star type guys. And so that's the problem there. They probably need a more consistent Robin. Now, maybe maybe what Milwaukee needs is not to replace Middleton. It's maybe to add a third star. That's probably what they need, because obviously Drew Holiday is not enough. So they've got to maybe they thought Drew was going to be that guy that was going to add it, but they need another guy because of Giannis's lack of shooting. And I don't want to hear that he'll work on it, or he's been long enough in this league to have developed that outside shot. He can't even develop a free throw. I mean, seriously, dude, when the offseason hits, you should have a bed at half court, right? Shower over there, of course. And you should sleep in the gym, okay? shoot free throws all day long, go shower, and lie in the bed right there at half court and sleep the entire offseason in a court. Because, dude, you need to work on your free throws. It's embarrassing to watch a superstar like that. And it's not like, with Shaq, I kind of understood because Shaq was such a big dude and his hands were so enormous that it was hard for him to get the ball and properly put some English on it and shoot it, the right way. He just didn't have that kind of touch. That wasn't his thing. Maybe it was his hands. I'm not exactly sure. But he just never had that kind of touch. Giannis has it. Giannis can do it. I've seen it. Now his accuracy just absolutely sucks. That's why he needs to shoot and shoot and shoot. Okay. Let's see. Andres Orozco says, morning fam. Oh, been working for a week straight. I'm finally off. Gonna take a big one for my brother. There you go. Go for it, baby. Enjoy. NorCal says, Andre, great idea. Puff, puff, give. Man of 1,005 holes says, this is like survival of the fittest this season with all the injuries. Yeah. Yeah. Ray says, I really think with the healthy Dragon and Bam last year, we would have won. Everything was falling into place in the bubble. It was, man. It was. It was the moment to take advantage and catch lightning in a bottle, and the damn bad luck hit the Heat, and that sucks. Agree, Ray. The Heat were rolling in the bubble before the injuries. Yep. James Roman is in. Weapons X United, 90 miles from Cuba. DF in. Oh, is Flores really on the hot seat? DF, I already answered that. You got to check out the podcast. I believe on Monday, I think I got heavily into it already. I already answered that silly question. I think Tremolio was referencing tobacco. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, maybe it's tobacco. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm just looking out for Tremolio. I just want him to be, healthy and don't want him choking on any food. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, thank you all out there. As always, don't forget to smash the hell out of that like button. That is one of the most important things that you will do for us here on the program. So Hawks win last night. Atlanta with 4 of their 5 starters in double figures. Bogdanovich had 20. Lou Williams had 21. Just a heck of an effort tonight. 9:00 ESPN, Suns and Clippers. Phoenix leading 3-2. Let's see if they can eliminate them in the Staples Center. We'll see if that ends up happening. Now, I don't know how many of you ended up seeing Barkley. And listen, I can't say that I always agree with Barkley. Sometimes he says some wacky ass shit. I got to admit, but there are times when Barkley says something that makes a lot of sense. And the guy that's playing tonight, Paul George for the Clippers. And I think a lot of you saw DeMarcus Cousins come out and, defend him to high hell. It was just one of those, oh, you guys are picking on him and this and that. And Barkley, and other people have also kind of mentioned it, that, Paul George is getting, all this criticism and all that. And Barkley on TNT had the right answer to all of this.
These dudes, man. These dudes, man.
What? What do you mean?
Every great player
Yes.
gets criticized.
Yes.
I don't hear that bull
Crap.
Every great player. I have gotten criticized because I didn't win a championship. Michael Jordan, before he won the championship, he can't win. Shaq, Kobe, everybody's gotten criticized. This false narrative. I'm hearing these jackasses on television talking about somebody gets scrutinized more than other people. Give me a freaking break. Every great player who's played until they win a championship get criticized. But I got drafted with Michael Jordan. My first, I think he won the championship in his 8th year.
First 6 years in the league.
But I'm saying, I think he won the championship 6 or 8.
I think it was 7.
Okay.
Right.
Like, I remember when he was going up, when he put that 63 on the Celtics. Yeah, he's a great individual player, but he hasn't won the championship. They've always said that about me. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing. I can go down the line and the line. But this notion that Paul George is a terrific player, but that goes with being a terrific player. And these other guys talk about he gets treated unfairly. Give me a freaking break.
It's 100% right. Shaq, I'm critical of Shaq in his career. I thought he didn't work hard enough on the defensive end. I don't think he got enough block shots on the defensive end. And listen, a lot of people picked on him for the free throws too. For me, it might be because of his, freakish size or whatever, that it was tough for him on the free throws. But everybody's criticized. And he's right about Jordan, because Jordan was scoring all those points, but, he was playing with Orlando Woolridge. And when he got there, his first year or two, Orlando Woolridge and Rory Sparrow, and, he didn't have a team. And then they finally drafted Pippen and Horace Grant, but they had to develop those kids. They weren't ready-made right from the get-go. It took them a few years to finally, get their footing, and then they had a team that he could go out and win. But he's right. Everybody's criticized. That's just the way it goes. And there's this whining. And I'm telling you, this Paul George stuff, it comes from the new school. It comes from the millennials and the Generation Zs. They cannot handle criticism, dude. They take everything so personal. They just can't. Over the weekend, I was screwing around watching some Don Rickles and stuff. And I just think about the way our parents raised us, the way, life was before and all that. And I'm not telling you that things were perfect. I know that, back in the day, 20, 30, 50, 70 years ago, we probably went to extremes we shouldn't. But on the flip side, we weren't nearly as sensitive as they are nowadays. And that's really where it comes from. All this sensitivity, it comes from millennials like Paul George, or the ones that are his age, or younger, which is the Generation Z. Same damn thing. That section of people, they are so ultra sensitive. Okay. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It just is. And that's what this comes from nowadays. It's hard to be in sports and not be criticized. You're going to be criticized. And you know what? Hell, it's hard to be famous and not get criticized, because actresses and actors, they get criticized all the time. Politicians get criticized all the time. If you're a person in the public eye, you are going to be critiqued about all kinds of things. It's just the way it goes, man. It's part of the game. You got to be able to handle it. You got to be tough enough. You got to be thick-skinned. And this is kind of what I was just talking about with Giannis. That's thin. That's a thin-skinned dude right there. The counting has gotten to him to a point that he can't handle it. I mean, those air balls he shot yesterday. Oh, dude. And it's not just one. It was several. And Kenny Smith said, I think it was at halftime when he said it, he goes, I don't think he was ready for this. Because if you're prepared and you're a star, you're not going to be shooting that many air balls. And I started to think about it, and you can see an air ball from anybody, because they're all human beings. But three of them, he's right. You're not focused. You're allowing the periphery to affect you. I mean, I can't imagine. There used to be a fan, I forgot his name, for the Washington Wizards. I'm sorry, for the Washington Bullets. And when he used to have tickets right behind the visitors' bench. So whatever team came to town, the guy was the entire four quarters just talking, crap, shit, whatever. I can say it here, on the players on the opposite team. And everybody that visited Washington knew The white dude with the glasses, kind of bald. I think he was balding. I'm pretty sure of it. You're going to hear him for 4 quarters. And these are the days where they stunk. I mean, they were, when are they good? This is like the best Washington team we've seen in decades. We got to go back to like the 70s or something. But it was just one of those things that, I mean, the Bullets were terrible, and yet you knew that guy was going to be there every single time. I don't think these guys nowadays could handle this. I mean, it must be like a coach that's been in the game for a long, long time. It must be completely different how he or she coaches in this decade than they did 2 or 3 decades ago. They got away with other things, and players were see, I mean, we kind of grew up in an era where your mother or your father, and you did something stupid, right? And they told you, hey, moron, what the hell are you doing? They might have said it in Spanish. They might have said it in Creole. They might have said it in whatever language, that goes on in your family. But your mother or your father or whatever told you, hey, what are you doing, you idiot? And, whacked you across the head, and you were like, the difference, I think, is that even though we were kids and maybe we kind of argued about it or whatever, deep down inside, we knew we deserved the ass kicking. So we kind of took it, and that's it. And it was over. And 5 minutes later, your mother, your father could hug you and tell you they love you, and you forgot about it. It didn't linger. You didn't take it on with you for weeks. Oh, man, my mom, my dad hit me. Oh, please, get the hell out of here. Come on. So I think that's where this comes from. This whole Paul George thing and being critical and all that comes from these generations, these last couple of generations that we've brought up. And think about this. You want to know what's scary? These soft-ass people are going to have kids, and they're going to raise kids now. So as soft as they are, can you imagine what's coming next? I mean, I know I sound like the old man get off my lawn thing, right? But, I mean, dude, come on. This is just ridiculous. Oh, Paul George, they're picking on him too much. Give me a break, bro. Michael Jackson got ripped for everything. Forget about the crimes. If he did any with kids, I don't know if he did or not or whatever, but everything else, where he got criticized for all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter who you are, dude. You can be the president of the United States. Every president gets ripped. Every president gets made fun of. My Lord, Gerald Ford never let it down that he was a goofball that fell every 10 steps he was falling down. Okay? He makes Biden look like a guy that can cross the Grand Canyon on a wire. You think Biden's fallen a lot? Gerald Ford fell for a living. And everybody made fun of it forever. Made fun of Ronald Reagan losing his mind in the second term. It's the way we do things, bro. Bill Clinton, all his mess with Monica. The way it goes. Everybody if you're in the public eye, get ready for criticism. It's the way it is. And sometimes it's deserved. Paul George, right? Sometimes Ellen, deserved. Sometimes it's deserved and sometimes it's not. But we kind of grew up in, back in the day where you can, shrug it off and say, and you move on. And that's the kind of stuff that made you tougher, actually. That's the way you look at it, not fold. That's the problem. You keep these generations, they act like their feelings are so hurt and all this stuff, and then it just lingers in their minds. They don't know how to compartmentalize and just forget it, flush it down the toilet and move on, bro. It's like it's like you hurt me and you hurt me forever now. No, dude, it's a little bit of criticism. Take it, appreciate it, correct your issue, and move on. Remember we talked about taking responsibility like Pippen? That's it. And if you're Paul George, take responsibility. And if you're Boogie Cousins or everybody else, you got to understand the dude choked at the end of 2 of these games, missing key free throws. Superstars don't do that, bro. Superstars don't miss free throws on a consistent basis at the end of games. Superstars don't come to the line and they choke out because the damn audience or the fans are counting it down. And you can tell it's eating him alive. Barkley is 1,000% right. And the only thing I would add to his point, he's right. All stars get criticized. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Tim Duncan. What was Tim Duncan's critique? He's boring. You couldn't pick on the game because the game was immaculate. His championships, he's got 5. You know what I mean? Ultimate teammate. Took less money to accommodate everybody else. Played, though, for 20-something years. Never said a damn word. Played for Pops, old school, which you're going to get your ass ripped. We saw Tim Duncan get ripped on the court by Pops because Pops would rip Parker, Ginobili, or Duncan, not just the other guys. And yet, Tim Duncan, who's probably, it's almost near impossible to criticize him. We had to reach somewhere. Oh, he's boring. Spurs win. Oh, but they're boring. You know, Spurs went on. Yeah, but they're boring. You know, that kind of, that's criticism is all part of the game, man. Paul George, soft ass. Crazy. These modern players are way too into their feelings and look for any excuse. And the older players still playing like LeBron are trying to adopt this trend just to fit with the crowd and feel young. It's one of those situations, man. It's a funky thing. Alex Diaz says, "Hey, how are you doing? Still suffering from the heartbreaking loss from the Lightning last Friday night. I think a trade with X is almost certainly going to happen. Do you think it's a set? It sets the D back." Alex, well, I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know. We have to find out with Noah. But I've addressed that on different levels this week and last week. You may want to go back and listen to the podcast. But I talked about the X trade and what's going on. I broke it down in many angles. I talked about Noah. Also, all those things are there on the podcast. But I did address all those things that you're asking already. Miguel Garcia says, watching your show from Kissimmee, Florida. All right, Miguel. Yeah. Little Disney action right there in Kissimmee. AJ Highly Bread says, you're 100% right, O. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Tom Flores says, good morning, Big O. I'm listening to you from all the way in California, lifetime Dolphin. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you listening out there in California, my friend. 90 miles from Cuba says, not me, O. That's my generation, but was brought up to know the world is tough and not everybody is going to like you. Exactly, man. Exactly. Lisa says, full transparency. After Monday's game, I am worried my sons might be snake bit a little. Can't stand the Clippers, hoping for a better outcome tonight. Oh, you guys will be fine, Lisa. Chill out. You'll be good. You'll be good. Your team will find its stride tonight. I think they eliminate the Clippers when it's all said and done. GP Trap reminds everybody to hit that like button. Smash the hell out of that like button. Let's go over 200 likes, man. Let's go. You're listening to the podcast. Hit that like button. You're watching it on YouTube later on in the evening, in the middle of the night, whatever. Hit that like button, please. Big time. Let's look forward to the Heat's next season and the future for our team. Not what happened or if it's 2 years ago, but let's go Heat. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the hell happens with the Heat this offseason because they don't have a lot of options. But I thought, we brought on Anthony Chang yesterday on the show, and I thought he and Barry wrote a common sense article, because we start getting into the Bradley Beal and the Kawhi discussions and the Damian Lillard discussions, and it's stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's a waste of time. Miami has no shot at those guys. They don't have the capital to go get those guys. So forget about it already. Ton of teams will beat him. But when, you talk about Sexton, okay, there might be a little baggage there or whatever if the kid is kind of sensitive because he's young. There might be some baggage with it, but it makes a lot of sense. And he's a kid that has a lot of upside, actually. Those are the kind of things that I think Miami can do. I know that we all love the whales. They're not getting a whale. Not those whales that I talked about. Unless another whale that we haven't talked about somehow shows up and says that they're, they want to get out of their current place, then maybe, but it's got to be it's got to be the perfect storm. You know what I mean? And right now, Bradley Beal probably will not leave Washington anyways, not for Miami, because right now Washington's better than Miami. And Kawhi's not leaving LA, please. That's so stupid. The guy, has gone through hell and a whole season he sat out, and then the injuries, and he won his championship in Toronto. He's staying in LA. He'll figure it out and all that stuff. If not, the guy they'll trade is Paul George. They're not going to trade Kawhi. They're going to trade Paul George if they trade a star. And so those guys are Damian Lillard. They got no shot at that. If Damian Lillard wants out, now Portland will probably trade him to this conference, but there's going to be a slew of teams that are going to have way more capital than the Miami Heat. And so that's why sometimes, this happens where Heat fans, the Heat zombies is what I call them. They love the team so much, they are completely blinded from common sense. And that's part of the common sense that they lack at times. Randy Gonzalez says, what's up, Big O? Watching your YouTube while at work. Any updates on crypto, baby? What price do you think SHIB Inu will reach? Randy, listen, I'm hoping SHIB can get to a penny or two. That's what I'm hoping. Here's where none of us really know what's going to happen, and it's even a crazy prediction what I just gave you. But here's what I'll tell you about SHIB. Let's wait till the SHIB swap comes out, and let's see in that following month how it affects the price of SHIB. Because if the SHIB swap is used a lot, and it's such a popular coin right now because it's one of the most searched coins, and I'll give you a great fact. They are actually gaining, what's it called? They're gaining, holders of the coin. And so that's a beautiful thing that more and more people are buying SHIB. And so you're gaining. And if you go to coinmarketcap.com and then you hit holders and you look at it here, you see this graph? You see, there you go. You see how it's going up? Right there. That's the peak right now in holders. So it's been going up every day. So more and more people are buying SHIB. So that's incredibly important because you have more and more people coming in to this crypto coin. So the more and more people buy and hodl, the more value it goes up. And if you've noticed, it's gone up in the last 48 hours quite a bit because it was in the 6s and now it's in the 9s. Low 9s, I think, is where it's at right now. Not even a penny, but I'm just saying where it was at. So yes, it's going to go up. But my forecasting of it, let's wait till SHIB swap starts and let's see what happens over that next month. And then if we see the kind of momentum, then we'll know if, okay, we got something going on. And if it doesn't move the needle, then that might be a problem. Okay? So, that's it. Remember, that's a gamble. I'm not telling any of you to buy SHIB. I am not. Go buy Cardano and, go buy VeChain and go buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. And, I'll tell you about those. Go buy those. Those things are going to soar. Go buy Matic. Go do it, man. I bought some more reserve rights coin also. RSR. Whatever. I mean, it's only at 2 cents right now, and that thing was at 11 cents. So do the math. There's a lot of coins I will tell you to go buy. I'm not telling you to go buy SHIB. Okay, I just want you all to know out there. Obviously, Randy, myself, and I know John Rouse also is into the SHIB too. These are total gambles. Okay, total gambles. That one I don't have the same, positivity that I do about other coins that I know a lot about. And I know about their foundation and their ownership and their partnership and their market and their market value and all that stuff. But it's very important what I showed you about SHIB, that you're watching more and more owners every single day. That's incredibly important right now for SHIB. So while we're in a consolidation period, all it's done is gone up. That's pretty cool. Okay. So that's where I would tell you that. And you know what? I was going to tell you that just to give you a little example. Look at Doge, how it went up and then it went down. And now I went down and now it's starting to climb a little bit more. But that shows you the volatility actually with Doge. Now Doge has more people because obviously it's been around a lot longer, but it shows you where SHIB is. It's on a complete climb, where Doge has its ups and downs now at this point. Robert Pereira says, how can I buy? What platform? You can get it at crypto.com if you want to get SHIB. That's where I get it. It's supposed to be on Coinbase eventually, but it hasn't made it to Coinbase. They're having some issue with the connecting of the blockchain. So I don't know what's going on there, but eventually they'll have it on Coinbase. But if you don't want to wait, you can go to crypto.com and you can get it there. Okay. And Robert says, Big O, I know it's a gamble. It's a major gamble. All I'm telling you, Robert, if you're going to play SHIB, dude, play the money you can, money that you can like flush down the toilet. It's basically what you're doing. Okay. Because we don't know. I mean, it's such a deal right now that if it gets to a penny, you're going to make a lot of money because it's 5 zeros behind the point. So it's at the thousandths of a cent. So if it gets to a penny or 10 pennies or 50 cents, you're going to make a lot of money. But it's a huge gamble right now on that one. Okay. Let's see. Diaz says Damian Lillard would want to go to New York than Miami. I don't know where he wants to go. But Alex, you're a Knicks fan. You have no objectivity. Just by saying that, you have no objectivity because once again, you're now thinking the Knicks are a desirable situation, and there's no proof of that. But that's what Knicks fans do all the time. You guys think you matter when you don't matter jack shit. I'm just sorry. I love you, Alex, and all that, but the Knicks don't matter jack shit in the NBA. We can talk about, it's great to get the Knicks in and get the New York market in and all that, but nobody goes there. So until they actually start getting real stars to go there, then I'll believe it. But for now, I'm not going to believe that fairy tale that Knicks fans, spout every single year for the last 20-something years when they act like they matter and they don't. And, because all of a sudden they had a half-decent season, they think they matter, and you don't. You know what I mean? So until I see the Knicks actually win for several seasons and get in the playoffs for several seasons, then I'll say, okay, you're building something. But for right now, it's 1 year. Doesn't matter at all. You got to prove it to me that the Knicks matter. That's the problem with Knicks fans. Any little, just a tiny bit of success, and you guys blow it up. It goes Jeremy Lin. You know what I mean? And it's so typical of Knicks fans. Nothing has been proven with the Knicks that they matter. They don't matter. So until I actually see a Damian Lillard go there or Durant go there instead of going to the Nets, then I'll believe it. But until then, I don't believe anything about it, LOL, they are closer. They are closer to making the playoffs. That's it. That's all they do is make the playoffs. That's about the only thing that they're closer to. Right now, they're not close to anything at this point in time. They are miles and miles away right now. John says, hey, when will we have our first Dolphins get-together, training camp or regular season? That's a good one. Give me a week or two. We might have something for you on that. I just started this thing again. And so now we've got to build it up again. So I'm in the process of doing all those things. Today, we took a step forward by adding Omar Kelly to the podcast and to the show. He'll be on with us on Mondays and Fridays. For those of you just tuning in, we mentioned it at the beginning of the hour. Omar Kelly will now be exclusively on our show Mondays and Fridays. You won't hear Omar Kelly anywhere else starting on Monday. So he will be with us on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, and he'll join us Mondays and Fridays on that. And then everything else, we look to build on everything else, and we might have a somewhere to get together very shortly. Okay, I'm telling you. Randy says, agree. I have VeChain, Matic, Ada, RSR. Whoa, you got RSR. You got IOST also? Wow, you're like me. I love IOST. It's one of those under the radars. You got to just stash it and leave it there and it'll grow. RSR is also another one that a lot of people don't know about. You have Zilliqa, nice. You have Decentraland Mana, nice. Great. Those are all great companies. Great companies. You got it going, man. You got it going. That's I have all of those in my portfolio. That's the other thing. About 90% of the time, maybe 95%, if I tell you a coin, I own it. Okay? There's a couple that I don't own. Like, I love Kusama. I don't own it. Binance, I know they had some issues there, but I know it's going to go up. There's several coins there that I don't own, but I don't own any Polkadot, but I would tell you buy Polkadot. I have no problem with that. I'm not rich. I can't have every coin in the book. But if I tell you a coin, usually I own some portion of it. I have some kind of a dog in the race in that coin. I would never tell you something. Well, no, I mean, I can't say never. Once in a while, I may talk about a couple coins that I know they're really good. I just wasn't able to get into it at the right time and those kind of things. Dougie Fresh says, I just looked at the Tour de France leaders and not a single rider from the USA in the top 50. Have you ever seen someone like Lance in any other sport? The savior of a sport is also killed it. Yeah, because everything they were juicing. He was juicing, so that's why he ended up where he was at, and he won all those championships. You know what I mean? And that we don't know if Miguel Indurain did the same thing before that. And what was the other American that we had? What was his name? Greg or something. He got shot in the leg, and then he came back and won. Is it Greg LeMond? Did I get it right? Anyway, I think he won it like 3 times, I want to say. And that's been the problem, that after the whole thing that with Lance, it's dirtied up listen, it's a sport that's viewed as completely dirty as it is. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, Dougie, none of us give a shit about cycling. We don't care about cycling whatsoever unless the Tour de France comes around and we have one of our, people in the Tour de France. If we don't have an American, we don't care. I'm sorry. If we don't have an American that can win it, we don't care at all. You know what I mean? It's all a jingoistic thing. That's what goes on there. Ray, thank you, sir. Ray Grullon gives us a little love on the super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate the support from all of you out there. in many, many ways, because obviously we need your support. Thank you, sir. Says, thank you, O, for the show. The Knicks will make it to the finals in another dimension, in the Twilight Zone. But I love people like Alex, because Alex is a good dude, by the way. But it's just funny how all Knicks fans are like that. They have just a little bit of success and they want to stretch it out to this extreme. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, you had nice success this year, but you got to build on it. You gotta do it for several years before people actually start believing in you, and not say, okay, this is a fluke. You made it and then you didn't the following year, and you go back to being what you were. And he goes, they overachieved this season. They have a nice young core. They do. They actually have a couple players I like on the Knicks. I'm definitely agreeing with you on that, but they got a long way to go before we start taking them serious as a contender, as a team that really is going to build to try to get to being one of the main teams in the Eastern Conference. They're a ways away. But you never know. Maybe Thibodeau can get it done. Put all your money into MySpace. I'm not a financial advisor. Hey, didn't Timberlake buy MySpace? Like, he bought it for a small amount of money or something like that? Because I think they sold it. And I want to say Justin Timberlake bought MySpace and he was going to do something with it, or I'm not exactly sure. I mean, when you got that kind of money, who knows? Dougie Fresh says, I care about cycling, but also watch double Dutch jump rope competitions. Ah, very good. Those are fun to watch. Leon Fresco says, Big O, congrats on Omar Kelly. There could be a way to monetize your show where people can appear as guests on your show to plug the items they are selling and then talk sports, short segments. You mean like what they do in the Super Bowl? Everybody you're interviewing, well, I'm here for prostate cancer, but let's talk about that secondary and will they get interceptions in the Super Bowl? Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, we got to now get our sponsors back on board here, but this is all a process, man. You know what I mean? So it's I am flying solo, basically, doing all this stuff. So it's gonna take a little bit to build it all back up again. Robert Pereira says the same as Jets fans, right? Yes, same thing. Jets fans have just a tiny bit of success, and they make it sound like they're going to win the Super Bowl the next year. Oh yeah, they've got it. Zach Wilson will throw for 300 yards in the first two games. Okay, 310 and 340. And they've got him already in the Hall of Fame, and they've got him right there next to Joe Namath. That's all I need. 2 regular season games, game 1 and 2 of his entire career, and they'll have him retired and headed into the Hall of Fame. That's what will happen. Oh yeah, no, yeah, Zach will. Yeah, he's already better than Marino. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. That's what they do. Slap face competition. Now that's fun to watch. Well, John, BYB Extreme, the next bout here this month, July 16th, I believe, at the Hard Rock. They have slap fights. The early fights are slap fights. Before they have the bare knuckles, they have the slap fights. So yeah, that is fun, by the way. And I got to tell you, you got to be some tough sumbitch to take on those slaps, man. Holy moly. How those guys stand there and take those slaps. Wow. Man. Let's see. Randy says Omar Kelly knows his stuff. Yep. Looking forward to I love Omar. Don't agree with him all the time, but I don't care. That's fine. I love Omar, man. That's the idea. It's sports. We're not supposed to agree all the time. That's why we're going to be right and we're going to be wrong. Even when there are those days where you have a conviction that you're going to be right, and you're wrong. You know what I mean? It's sports. Hard to predict sometimes. So it's fun. JG Long says, good morning, Big O. The only reason Zach Wilson throws 300 yards, because they are getting blown out. LOL. Yes. Matt Walker says, Big O radio show, if you create a cash app, you can get all the donation money. A portion of Super Chats go to, it's 30% that goes to it. So if I create a cash app, That's interesting. I've never thought of that. That's okay. All right. Which, can you guys tell me what link I would do something like that? That's interesting. That's interesting. You know what I was thinking? I don't know if I could do it. Is if you guys want to donate, I put my Ethereum or my Bitcoin or my VeChain account, and you can donate that instead of cash. You donate VeChain, or you donate, something like that. I was thinking about that. You know what? Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com is an email. If anybody knows about what Matt was talking about, the Cash App, we'll do that, because I can actually put it on the scroll too. That's very interesting. Better than giving YouTube the 30%. You are correct on that. I like that, man. I like that. That's a good idea right there. Randy Gonzalez is chiming in with a super chat. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you, my brother. He's got the super chat there. Thank you, sir. That is very, very kind. All right, let's do this. Let's give me 2 minutes. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with hour number 2.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
It is hour number 2 of the program. Thank you for holding in there. Appreciate you. Take a little break here and get a little water and slow down a little bit. Because remember, we're doing it a little different nowadays. We had more breaks, and we kind of go consistent for a couple of hours here on the program. But I like it. I like the obviously, a lot of you like the format because it's a little bit more personable compared to the other things that we normally do. So thank you all out there. Let's see. What did I see on the break? Was it Who Remembers Double Dutch Bus? Where was that at? I just saw that somewhere. There it is. Super Boom Shack. Who remembers Double Dutch Bus? Come on, bro. There's a Double Dutch Bus coming down the street, moving pretty fast, so kind of shuffle your feet. Come on, man. Get on the bus. Pay your fare. And tell the driver that you're going to a double Dutch affair. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I'll be done. Here we come. Let's go. I love double Dutch. It was great. I can't double Dutch, but I love double Dutch. Okay. I think you keep more earnings if you create a Patreon. All right, now you guys are confusing me now. So it's a Cash App or a Patreon? I don't get it. Okay, what do we do? You guys got to guide me on this one, man. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. You know, I should start giving out that email more often. So, because everything is found except for my Twitter. Everything is Big O Radio Show, whatever. Instagram, YouTube, podcasting, all that stuff. The only thing that's Big O Show is Twitter. That's it. So Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. So if you guys if you ever want to send me, some questions, some comments, an article, pictures, whatever, or ideas on this whole Patreon Cash App thing, because that's a great idea, because 30% of it goes to YouTube, and you know what I mean? That's a lot of money that we're giving away to YouTube. So yeah, I kind of like that idea a lot, actually. So if I can get that done, I'll do it today and have it already for tomorrow. Both Big O, let's get that flow everywhere we can get. Get both Cash App or Patreon. It can be either one. But what's easier for people to use? See, that's the part I don't know. I don't use Cash App or Patreon. You know what I mean? Hell, the only thing I ever use to send money is Zelle. But that's kind of, with, whatever, my wife or somebody or a friend of mine or something, But that's the only thing I've ever used. Plus, Cash App has crypto on there. Really? Wow. Twitch as well. Okay, well, we are on Twitch. And if I'm correct, Alex Diaz, are you watching on Twitch? Because it comes out purple. I thought that was the deal with what's it called? When somebody's watching on Twitch, it comes out purple. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's what I was told. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just it gave you a purple deal on it. But yeah, let me see. No, maybe. Oh no, it's not. No, you're on YouTube because JG is on YouTube. Let me see, because he's purple. And yeah, no, you're on YouTube also. Has the YouTube link. Okay. All right. Because I know we're on Twitch, but I don't expect much from the Twitch side. It's all YouTube pretty much that's coming on. But thank you all out there for those suggestions. You're always on top of it, man. Appreciate you all out there. Oh, just use PayPal for donations. Ever since eBay dropped them, PayPal is converting to Bitcoin brokerage. I know that they're adding coins too, but does that mean that in the PayPal account they can donate coins or cash? Does that mean that? Is that what you're saying, Tremolio? That if people want to donate coins or cash, they can do either one on PayPal? I don't know. You got to help me out with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we got all of that going on. Let's see. What else do we have? Happy birthdays. We got a couple of happy birthdays. Glenn Sharrock from Little River Band celebrating a birthday today, 1944. Probably some of the best harmonies a band has ever had. Okay? I'm not telling you they're the best, but they are top 10. Okay? They are just one of those bands that could sing their asses off. They had like 4 guys that had great voices. Today, Andy Scott, guitarist for Sweet, was born on this date in 1949. A little Willie Willie Won't, Ballroom Blitz, Fox on the Run, Love is Like Oxygen. One of the best lines ever in a rock song. Love is like oxygen. You get too much, you get too high. Not enough, and you're going to die. It's a freaking great line. One of the greatest lines out there. In 1963, on this date, Yngwie Malmsteen was born, the Swedish guitarist, who I believe lives in Hollywood, I want to say. He lives here in South Florida, and he will be here in South Florida July 23rd at the Culture Room. I will be there to see the man fly through the frets. Philip Anselmo, happy birthday to him, the singer of Pantera, born on this date in 1968. And Born on this date in 1985, this man had one of the worst dolphin fight songs in the history of mankind, and that is T-Pain. T-Pain, Fahim Najara, I got nothing against you, bro. Appreciate you. All that good stuff. But your Miami Dolphins song sucked ass. Okay? It's an embarrassment to the Miami Dolphins song. Just want to say that. The rest of your music is just fine. But your Miami Dolphin fight song absolutely sucked. All right? Just want to tell T-Pain that. That's a terrible. It should be destroyed. It should never be played again. You know what I mean? Seriously, I'm not joking. It is the worst dolphin fight song I have ever heard in my life. It's what was that? It's worse than fins to the left and fins to the right and all that other silliness that they used to have also in the stadium. Hootie should do a new version of the classic Fins fight song. Yeah, because they're not going to make us cry anymore. Okay, they're going to make us very happy. We're headed for a happy town with the Miami Dolphins. That's the beautiful thing. What do we have here? Troy Ortiz says, "Love Suite, underrated band." They had several hits, man, some big hits, and they put together some good stuff. T-Pain is the man. He's killing Twitch. I'm sure he's a good dude overall and everything, and good music and everything. It's just his dolphin fight song I can't stand. That's all. Got no other complaints about T-Pain except for his dolphin fight song, which was just absolutely brutal. All right, let's remember, folks, you can reach out to us on YouTube. You can reach out on the Super Chat, as always. Twitter at Big O Show. Smash the hell out of that like button. That is so important that you smash that like button out there, folks, because that is what's going to get it going in the algorithms and more people will see it. So please smash the hell out of that like button whenever you're watching or listening to the podcast at any time, day or night. Doesn't matter. Please take the time to subscribe and like and hit that like button. It is incredibly important what you're going to do for us there when it's all said and done. Got a bunch of things to talk about. When we talk about the NBA, and I know that it's become kind of a story now because he took off to Utah to become, part owner and all that stuff, and that's Dwayne Wade. And so I saw where Dwayne Wade is in the news because he's worried about keeping Donovan Mitchell in Utah. And welcome aboard, Dwayne Wade. That's probably why maybe you should have waited a little bit and taken Mickey Harrison's advice. Look, you can go to Utah, right? And you're Dwayne Wade, and it's great, but young players aren't going to go there just because you're there. In the end, they still want to go to LA, and they still want to go to Chicago, and they want to go to Brooklyn, Alex. And they want to go to Miami, and they want to go to certain places, and they want to avoid others. And Utah has always been the place that people avoid. It just is what it is. Charlotte, Orlando, Sacramento. There are just certain towns, Cleveland, you're not going to be recruiting free agents. LeBron could not get people to go to Cleveland. And he's an active player. So Dwayne Wade going to Utah, it was great for him because, he wants to get into ownership. God bless him. But this is the headache that goes with being on a franchise like this. And Utah, when they have success, whether it's in the Layden era or now, they've done it because they have drafted very well. That's why Indiana, they stay relevant because they've done a great job of drafting. They find their own players. They're not going to be the free agent destination, and neither is Utah. So, yeah, when you draft Malone and Stockton, you win. When you draft Mitchell and Gobert, you're going to win. But that's the only way you're going to be able to keep those guys. You're not keeping them because they wanted to be there. You're keeping them because you drafted them, and now you can pay them more than everybody else. So the story goes, and it's Brian Windhorst. Windhorst has a podcast, and he says, I think Dwayne Wade is seriously concerned about Donovan Mitchell's desire to stay there on a long-term basis. He says Windhorst also noted the tumultuous relationship within the organization, including one with head coach Quinn Snyder and executive Dennis Lindsey. And this week, Lindsey's transitioned to a lesser role with the team. The two-time All-Star Mitchell just wrapped up his fourth season in Utah, recently signed a 5-year, $163 million extension with the Jazz, which kicks in next season. And so tensions arise with the Jazz over the team's handling of his ankle injury this postseason. The retired three-time NBA champion Wade is famously close with Mitchell, who has often drawn player comparisons to him. So now Wade is in the middle of this dilemma with Donovan Mitchell. And that's going to be an interesting challenge because a lot of these guys, they're kind of smart in a way because they know that they can get the max money from one team only, their own, right? So they know they're going to get a lot less, if they go somewhere else. So what they do is they get the max deal from their current team and then try to force a trade so they keep all that money that they signed for. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's going to happen in this case. I mean, how does Utah trade that guy? Your fan base will completely turn on you if that happens, right? He's a great kid. He works hard, played his ass off, had a great playoff run here with all of this. But it's just one of those where now, you're Wade. Now you're going to deal with being in an unsexy environment and how you've got to try to maintain it and make it sexy. You know what I'm saying? So this will be a challenge. This will be interesting to see. I don't look at Donovan Mitchell as the kid that's going to create a lot of problems. That's the one thing. I don't look at him like the kid that's going to turn into a petulant child. You know what I'm saying? But if you have constant turmoil, let's say, and if you're not getting along with your coach, or if you have an issue with the front office, you had an issue with Rudy Gobert, 2 years ago with the whole COVID crap, because he acted like an idiot in all of that, it kind of starts to build up. You know what I mean? So maybe this is something that, this is probably something that means nothing for this offseason. But a year from now or 2 years from now, it may mean something because Donovan Mitchell may reach the boiling point when it's all said and done. So he's probably not asking for a trade now, probably not interested in leaving now, but maybe he's making them aware of, hey, I'm unhappy with this, this, and this. So now it's on record. And so if this continues, then this is going to be a problem down the line. And I think that's kind of a way of sending that message, if you're the superstar, on what you're unhappy with. And Wade being part of that organization, his challenge will be to correct those issues and make sure you keep your superstar happy, because you cannot lose Donovan Mitchell. You cannot lose Donovan Mitchell, man. You lose that guy and it's absolutely over. But I saw that story and I said, okay, these are real world NBA problems right there, baby. And he's got to deal with them now like crazy. Sucks. All right. Don't forget, you guys can reach out on our email, by the way, at Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. YouTube, of course, the super chat, Twitter at Big O Show. And don't forget to smash the hell out of that like button, please. That is very, very important. Let's see. What else do we have here? What up, Big O? X going to be traded for a couple of first rounders. Pipe Man Slim, I believe that X will be traded. But if you want to hear me talk extensively about that and all the issues that go on with it, go back to the podcast, and there's a couple of segments over the last week that address the X stuff. You may want to listen to that because I really go thoroughly into it. I don't want to repeat it because it's already there, the material, so you can listen to it on the podcast. So check it out there at Big O Radio Show, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff. You can find Big O Radio Show. So please make sure you subscribe to all of that because you'll also get the notifications. Just like those of you that are on YouTube, you get the notifications that we're actually, on the air or we're about to go on the air or stuff like that. So same thing here. You could get the notifications when a new podcast is posted, new segments are posted. You'll get those notifications, and then you'll be able to listen to it in your car on the way to work or on the way home or at night when you're relaxing or on a weekend or whatever, whenever it is that you take the time to listen to our show, and we appreciate it immensely. What else do we have here going on that I can laugh at? Oh, I can laugh at this. Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe wants to box again. And so apparently Riddick Bowe is returning to boxing in October. The 53-year-old two-time heavyweight champion just inked a deal with Celebrity Boxing to fight here in Miami October 23rd. Bowe last fought to a unanimous decision victory in 2008. His pro record, by the way, is 43-1 with 33 KOs. If you see a picture of him, he looks like an old man. Like, he looks old. I mean, did you see Mayweather in this last fight? Right? He had that older face on him now. He didn't have that younger face that he always had, in years past. Why? Because the dude's 50. I mean, what do you expect? You age. It is what it is. None of us look the way we did when we were 15 and 20 and 25. You know what I mean? But you got to, I can actually show you the picture right there. I mean, he looks old. Okay? That's what's going to go in the ring. That right there. You believe that? And I got to tell you, folks, look, I don't know if it's being held at the Hard Rock Stadium or at the Hard Rock whatever or wherever it's being held, the next Celebrity Boxing. And God bless to the people, putting it together. They've got enough suckers that are going to go to it. I don't understand any of this. What makes you want to see Riddick Bowe? Why do you want to see Evander Holyfield at 58 years old fighting? I kind of understand the Mike Tyson one because el tipo está loco, right? So you're thinking, okay, he's half crazy. He might bite somebody's ear off. He might go off, he might go crazy on you. You know what I mean? I wish the best to Tyson. He's as challenging of a life he's had, okay? I find him likable. You know what I mean? I find myself rooting for Tyson to, hell, I'm surprised he's alive. Let's be honest. I got to be honest. I didn't think it was going to end very nicely for Tyson. I didn't expect him here in 2021 to still be with us. So I hope he's with us in 2061. But my point is, I can understand some of you wanting to see Tyson just because of the train wreck value to it. That if he does lose his freaking mind, you're going to watch something crazy. Okay? And those of us that watched him bite Evander's ear off, it's the kind of stuff that, okay, maybe he goes crazy. But anybody else? I mean, the Pauls or whatever it is, all this crap that goes on, I find it sad that as a society, we're buying stuff like this. I really do. I find it sad. I mean, I just showed you a picture of Riddick Bowe. He looks like he's supposed to be on a rocker, smoking a cigar, playing dominoes or something, right? He looks like he belongs over in 8th Street And what's where they played Domino Park, right? It's called. He belongs on Domino Park right now with all the old Cuban men. He looks exactly like he belongs with all the old Cuban men playing dominoes. I mean, seriously. Does that not look like the kind of face that belongs in Domino Park? Come on, man. It's crazy. O'Shea Morris, thank you, sir. Appreciate you giving us a little love on the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. These celebrity wannabe boxing fights are just buying that more and more into the they're burying that more and more into the ground than what it is already. Yeah, I mean, I just, what I don't understand is, why would you be interested in watching this? That's the only thing I don't. Anybody that pays for this, why are you paying for this? The $50 you spent on that, man, go buy $50 in crypto instead. You'll get a lot more mileage out of it. It's like when we had the Bitcoin meeting down here, this Bitcoin convention, and you had to pay $1,500 to attend that thing. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is in the 30s. You're better off putting the $1,500 in Bitcoin, because when it goes up to 70 again, you're going to double your money and you'll have $3,000. Yeah. What you're going to see at that convention, you can read it in the internet. You're not going to learn a damn thing there that you don't know already if you follow it as it is. All it is just to hobnob with other people and talk about crypto and give away $1,500. And I love and you give it in Bitcoin, which they're not stupid. You're giving them an ascending what's it called, value, and you're getting nothing out of it. It's ridiculous. It really is. When I saw it, it was like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Riddick Bowe. Tell you. The other thing I saw was Serena Williams. And let me tell you, I felt terrible yesterday watching Serena Williams break down and cry yesterday. And listen, there's a lot to it already. This woman's had a couple of kids already. She's married. She's more of a mother now, obviously, than she was 20 years ago, right? When she started. You could tell physically she's not in the same shape she used to be in. She's a lot thicker now than she used to be. And so she's carrying more weight around. And, Pat Riley, Pat Riley has this thing with players as they get older, and he has them lose a pound every year off of their playing weight as they get older. So if you played at 212 and you look good at 212 or 232 or whatever, you're going to play at 231 next year, and you're going to play at 211 next year. Depends on who you are and what you are. And he doesn't do that with young players. But as you get older, it was one of those suggestions that because you're older, you're carrying, if you're going to end up carrying, because most of us, yours truly, you get older and you're carrying more weight. That doesn't make any sense. And Serena actually needs to kind of look like she did 10 and 15 and 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But it's a lot harder, which I can relate to it, and a lot of us can relate to it, the challenge of it. And you see her now, and she's breaking down constantly now. And that's because physically, she is not the same athlete that she was in the past. And that's the rough part for all of these athletes, is giving it up. Because you can tell that she still loves it, right? But she doesn't have the same kind of dedication to it that she had in the past, because damn, the woman's she's a wife and she's a mother. So she's got and she's got businesses and sponsorships and all that stuff. So she's got a lot on her plate, a ton on her plate. And watching her yesterday break down, I almost cried myself because I felt bad for her. I mean, she's one of those tennis players that I just, love to watch, man. Absolutely love to watch. She is one of the ultimate freaks. I thought Steffi Graf and I thought Martina were freaks, back in the day. She took it to another level. You know what I'm saying? And she's been one of my favorite athletes to watch. If you're gonna watch, if you're gonna catch me watching a tennis match on the women's side, there's a good chance it's a Serena match that I'm watching. And so again, I was watching the Serena match and I felt so bad for her because the end is coming. And it's never easy for any of them, man. Watching Marino break down the end, you know what I mean? It's never easy watching, these great athletes after they've given you everything. Their bodies are already wearing down and breaking down. And that's kind of what I got yesterday out of it. And felt for her, man. I felt her pain. You know what I mean? And it's a shame. You want them you want them all to go out like John Elway, right? Back-to-back championships, helicopter touchdown, all that good stuff, and you walk out into the sunset with those 2 titles, and you walk out on a high. And it just, that's not reality. Reality is watching Joe Namath in a Rams uniform all broken down and Willie Mays in a Mets uniform all broken down because they hang on too long. It's watching Patrick Ewing on the bench for the Magic and for the Seattle Sonics and a slew of teams that he played, that he hung on. Shaq hung on, just kept playing and kept, going all over the place and going to Cleveland and going to Boston. And he was already worn out at that time. And these are things that go on with athletes because it's hard for them to let it go. And the bodies are breaking down conditioning wise. They're not committed like they used to be because you get older. It is what it is, man. Your body's breaking down. So it's hard for you to train the same way to stay in the kind of shape that you used to. These are all incredible challenges for these athletes. And I've seen it with all kinds of athletes towards the end of their careers that they probably wait a little too long and hang on a little too long, and they start looking more human. They start looking more average, because that's what you're watching from Serena now. You're watching her play down to the competition, whereas she was way above the competition forever. Now, because conditioning, the body, the wear and tear, it's gone down now, and she's just not the same player anymore. You know what I mean? In fact, I think it's a hell of an accomplishment at times when I watch her now that she's carrying more weight, that she's a thicker woman now at this point. You know what I mean? And she's not fat. It's just that she's a big bone woman as it always was. But now she's carrying more weight, and it's an amazing thing at her age to still be able to hang with these younger athletes. It shows you what kind of a freak she has been and throughout her career that she's able to do that. It's pretty amazing. But at the same time, it was incredibly sad watching her because you never want to watch superheroes break down in front of you, and that's what Willie Mays is, and that's what Dan Marino is, and that's what Serena Williams is. It's those superheroes of sports that we only want to see them in their elite moments. We don't want to see them look average. It's not something that goes off well in your head. You know what I mean? Devin Jordan, sir, thank you, my friend, for giving us some love on the super chat. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate you. Big O, do you remember when Tyson lost his first match to Buster Douglas? I was like 12 years old. Yes, I do. Yeah, that was a night of him with three women, a ton of cocaine, alcohol, and then he wanted to fight him the next day. And Tyson thought he could be superhuman. He probably did that a couple times where he was able to bang a couple women, do a whole bunch of drugs, and then go out of the ring the next night and tear apart the opponent. Riddick was ready for it, and Buster was ready for it and was able to connect with him, and the rest is history. We were all freaking out when Buster Douglas won. Yes, I definitely remember that. Yeah, I was a little older than you were at that time. I don't know what I was then. Maybe 16, 18, 20. I don't even remember anymore now. What year was it? I don't even remember now, but it was a while ago. It was sometime in the late 80s, I want to say, when that happened. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, get your Mammoth tickets today. Well, that's actually my Guns N' Roses ticket, correct? Yes, they are opening up for Guns N' Roses on 2 dates, if I'm correct. I can actually tell you those dates in just a second here, because I know exactly where the article is. And I know that it's towards the end of their tour. They close out here, and it is October 2nd and 3rd, the day after my birthday. My birthday is October 1st. Funny, Mammoth is in Orlando on October 1st on Orlando's birthday. There you go. And then October 2nd and 3rd, they're here at the Hard Rock Live. So, yes, I know about Mammoth opening up for Guns N' Roses. Should be a lot of fun. I'll be there for one of those nights if I can afford the ticket, because, man, those GNR tickets are expensive. Wow. They are expensive. Too Extreme says, Father Time in life has finally taken its toll on Serena. She has nothing else to prove. She's the goat of her sport. Hang it up and enjoy life with the family. Too Extreme, you're 1,000% right. She doesn't need to play a damn set again. But it shows you how much she loves it that she can't let it go yet. And she's trying. I think she wants to let it go on a high. I think she's trying to win one of those majors and then maybe say, okay, see ya. I'm out of here. That kind of stuff. Just felt bad for her, man. But it's hard. This isn't a Serena thing, man. This has been going on forever. I watched Sugar Ray Leonard box way too long into his career that he was losing to average fighters. We watched Muhammad Ali also hang on to his career too long. This has gone on in every sport, unfortunately. Tons of athletes have hung on a little too long, and then we get to see them, unfortunately, in a human light, because we normally think they're superhuman. Devin Jordan says, thicker than a Snickers. Yes. Serena's slightly thicker than a Snicker. Yes. GP Trap says, hard to give up something you love. And that's the pain that I felt in her crying yesterday, in her breakdown, that she loves this so much that she wants to kind of, finish off on her terms, but the body is not agreeing with her anymore at this point. And it's tough, man. It's tough. Super Boom Shack, when the Cheatriots fans thought Brady was done a few years back. Yeah, I remember. In fact, I remember Ben Volen writing an article that Brady was done like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, and he was wrong. Let's see what else. 89 is when Douglas beat Tyson. There you go. I was right. Late 80s. So I was 24 actually when that happened. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Mammoth is headlining in Orlando. Oh, really? Oh, so the Orlando date is them by themselves. The two down here are the ones with Guns N' Roses. Ah, interesting. Okay. But I can't tell you I'm going to drive up there for Mammoth. I'll see them here with GNR. Let's see. Oh, make sure you bring the wife for Aventura at Hard Rock Stadium, huh? Make sure you bring your wife for Aventura at Hard Rock Stadium. I don't. What does that mean? What's Aventura? Isn't that a mall? Isn't that a town? You got me. You must mean something else. You must have misspelled it there. Michael Young says, the day my eldest son was born, same day as All-Star Weekend for the Heat. Nice. Vernon Womack says, hello, Big O. Vernon, hello, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Do you think Marino played well past his prime? No, I just think he had those injuries, the bone spurs and all that, and so it kind of made it look that way. And then, Jimmy screwed him. More than anything else in those 4 years, Jimmy screwed Marino over and over and over again. I've said this before. In hindsight, the best thing would have been when Jimmy took over was to trade Marino. If he was going to do it this way, he screwed up Marino's ending, bro. He took away the audibles. He took away, Irving Fryer, who then went on to have 2 Pro Bowl seasons with the Eagles right after he left Miami. He cut Kirby and Byers. He traded away Irving Fryer. He took away the audibles. He just changed everything about the offense and gave Marino less of a chance to succeed week in and week out. I blame Jimmy more than anything else for the ending of Marino's career. Unfortunately, I know Jimmy did a great job with the Canes. I get it. I understand that. But for the Dolphins, I know he did a great job in leaving the defensive players, but he left a lot to be desired as a person, as a coach, and especially on offense. He was a complete joke on offense. Yeah. Oh, Aventura is the Bachadas music group, Big O. Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what that is. And I doubt my wife knows what it is also. Which GNR lineup, with or without Slash? No, it's with Slash. Slash is touring. He's been back with them for several years now. They've been touring for a while. And if he sounds good that night, you're going to get a hell of a show. I mean, listen, Slash will shred for nearly 3 hours. Slash alone is worth the price of the entrance. But if Axel is sounding good that night, you're going to get a great show. Because he does have a couple of off. I've been lucky that the last couple times I've seen him, his voice has been rocking. But there are some recordings that you'll see over the last couple of years that he has some bad days, and he doesn't sound nearly as good. But I've been fortunate. The times I've seen him, he's actually sounded really, really good overall. With Slash, but they were better when Izzy was in the band. Super Boom Shack, go see the concert. You'll see a hell of a concert, man. I've seen this band without Izzy a couple times, and they're phenomenal. Slash will, entertain you more than enough. Who else do we have here? Marino's last game was hard to watch. It broke my heart. Devin, I was there, bro. I was in Jacksonville for that. And that was depressing. I'm telling you. Big, the group's lead singer is Romeo Santos. Again, bro, I have no idea of the band. I don't know who Romeo Santos is. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know anything about that. I would love to have seen Marino with the Vikings those last 3 years. It would have been the best thing for him. And being a Marino fan, I know I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'd rather see him in Minnesota than see what happened the last 4 years with Jimmy. Because it was just a soap opera, man. I covered it. I was in those locker rooms. I saw what Marino went through. It was heartbreaking, dude. And Marino, like a freaking champ that he was, never complained, never pointed fingers at anybody when he easily could have pointed fingers. I'm sure he was mother effing people behind the scenes, because Marino's not the guy that's going to stay quiet, and God bless him for that. But publicly, he was always handling it with incredible class. That's one of the things that I've always admired about him, that he was able to kind of keep his cool more often than not publicly. Very few times where he would lose it. Troy Ortiz, if you could go back in time and see only one band, who would it be between the Beatles, the Stones, Floyd, or Zeppelin? Oh, Zeppelin. It's Zeppelin for sure. I've seen Floyd, so I saw Floyd back in the day, so I'm good with that. I've seen the Stones several times, so I'm good with that. I never saw the Beatles or Zeppelin. For me, it would be Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix. Those are the two. Whenever I've been asked that, Those are the two. If you put Jimi Hendrix in there, I'm going to say Jimi Hendrix. You put Led Zeppelin in there and you didn't put Jimmy, I'm going to say Zeppelin. But it's Hendrix and Zeppelin are the two that I never saw, and I would give anything to go back in time and go see any of those two. Any of those two, and I would be the happiest camper in the world right there. Okay? Because for me, Jimi Hendrix is, just a complete level above everybody else. Guy was a freaking genius and was way ahead of his time, man. So ahead of his time. The Minnesota coach really wanted Marino. I mean, who wouldn't? The biggest screw up Jimmy did was passing on Randy Moss. That was one of many. One of many. He did a lot of screw ups on offense. Zeppelin, no question about that. 90 miles from Cuba says, I'm way too selfish of a Dolphins fan and bad that last game Marino and the Dolphins had. I wouldn't want it any other way if it meant finishing his career with the Dolphins. Yeah, I disagree with you, man. Danny deserved better, bro. He deserved better. He just deserved better. I sadly missed Tom Petty by 3 months and also never got to see Rush. Wow. I'm sorry about that, Lisa. Saw Tom Petty several times. I saw Rush. God, I saw Rush about 15 times or something in my lifetime. I saw Rush a lot. I saw them in their last tour. They didn't come to Miami. They went to the Amalie Arena in Tampa. And I went the weekend with the wife and the daughter over to Disney. And we were in Disney, and then I took off in the middle of the day after hanging out. I went back to the hotel, showered, got in the car, drove over to Tampa, and saw Rush that day. In fact, I hooked up with one of our listeners, the International Black Man. Yep, IBM. He's a longtime listener of our show. I don't know if he's watching on YouTube or checking out the podcast or anything like that, but a really, really good dude. Always has listened to our show for many years, and he lives out in that area. So I hooked up with him, and we had a couple beers, and then went in and watched the concert. And it was the last Rush concert in Florida, was the one at the Amalie Arena. Big O, how do you like your Yearn Finance coin? I mean, it's a solid coin, but it's already up there in price. I think there's a lot more values out in the crypto market that you can make more money. Like when you asked me the other day, when you bought the 13 Ethereums, you asked me, hey, Bitcoin or Ethereum? And I told you, no, you got to go to Ethereum because you're going to be able to double and triple your money a lot faster with Ethereum than Bitcoin. In fact, what you can do is when you get to the point that you have almost maxed out your Ethereum, that's when you sell it all and move it into Bitcoin is what you do. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that I would tell you is that if I'm going to go Yearn, then I'll give you an example. So that way I don't just, it's kind of like when people say, well, they should fire the coach. And I always, the way I ran my show was that I would tell you I want a coach gone, but then I would tell you who you replace him with. A lot of people, yeah, but they never did their homework. Or they'll just go off names that some writer put out there. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you an answer instead. I'm not going to tell you, oh, well, no, go Yearn Finance and, oh, no, but find another coin instead where you can make more money. Polygon, okay? Polygon right now is at 111. Polygon was it peaked at, let me see. What was it here? 240. So it's at 111. Think about that. You're going to more than double your money. Polygon right now, it has more transactions going through their blockchain than Ethereum because their gas fees are lower than Ethereum's. And they also can connect to all the other blockchains too. Matic is going to explode again. So I'm telling you, instead of Yearn Finance, because Yearn Finance, let me look it up here. Yearn Finance is at $31,824 a coin. So you've got to get to $64,000 to double your money. So it's kind of what I told you about Ethereum and Bitcoin. See, the thing about altcoins is you got to find the right altcoins because you'll be able to increase your money a lot faster with certain altcoins. Decentraland, Mana, is at 53 cents. It peaked before this crash. It was at $1.50. Okay? So think about it. It's at 53. It's going to get back to $1.50. You get 3 times your money. And Decentraland, Mana, is in charge of virtual reality, of advertising. Okay? They can sell you properties on virtual reality. Some of you out there might be laughing at me like, who gives a shit about that? I want to buy a real house. No, that's not what it is. Okay? So if you got people playing Vice City, right? There are video games of all kinds, whether it's sex, whether it's car racing, whether it's Fortnite, whatever it is, right? So you're the Coca-Cola brand. You go through Mana, through Decentraland, and you want to cut a deal with Vice City that all the soft drinks that are placed on there are Cokes. So every time somebody's playing and somebody drinks something, they're drinking a Coke. So they bought that product placement in there. Mana sells virtual reality, virtual real estate to companies. And a lot of people would think that doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, it does. Because there's a lot of people living virtually, playing all kinds of games constantly, millions and billions of people all around the world. So the virtual real estate is really important. And Decentraland is that company that's in something like that. So, these are kind of examples. Matic, Decentraland, Uniswap. Let me tell you, Uniswap's at $17 right now. Okay, it was even lower than that. Uniswap was at 43. So why not put your money there? You know what I'm saying? These are things. Thorchain. Love Thorchain. I got a bunch of Thorchain. Thorchain is right now at 631. Okay. It peaked at 1994. So you can 3 times your money there. So that's why I tell you, you have to be very careful how you attack the crypto market and so you can make more money quickly. You know what I mean? And now that this thing is about to bounce back, you got to get in now. So I there's a couple of other things that I would get into before I go. You go into Yearn Finance when you're already comfortable with all kinds of other coins. But if you don't have investment in other coins, that's my suggestion to you right there is go to other really good coins and companies that you can double and triple your money with a quickness. Because in a couple months, they're going to go back to their former numbers, and then they're going to exceed those numbers because those are all really good companies. I'm invested in all those companies I told you there, John. So that's my answer right there. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, if you could go back in time. Van Halen with Gary Cherone or Iron Maiden with Blaze Bayley. Oh, God. I don't want either one. Why you got to torture me with that? I wish I would have seen Iron Maiden with Paul Di'Anno. I would have really liked that. The early days of Iron Maiden, because the first album I love, dude. Remember Tomorrow and Phantom of the Opera are just absolutely amazing songs. So it would have been cool to see them live. Ragin says Tom Petty was one of the best shows I've ever seen. The last time I saw Tom Petty, Peter Wolf from Jay Giles opened up, and I saw it at Rolling Hills in Queens in New York. I was in New York for a week for several concerts, and one of them was the Tom Petty concert in Rolling Hills. That's the last time I saw Tom Petty. I remember seeing him at the Miami Arena for the Free Falling, that album. I forgot the name of it. That album there, Free Falling. That album there was at the Miami Arena. I saw him at the Sporto. I saw him all over the place, man. I saw him out in Coral Sky or Sound Advice or Cruzan or I Think or whatever it was called, amphitheater out there years ago too. I saw Petty a few times. I love Petty, man. I'm going to see Clutch in Virginia Beach in September. Oh, Mike, have you ever seen Clutch? They one of the best frontmen in the business they have. They are good, man. They are so good. I didn't know much about Clutch until a few years back, and they've been around a while, but I didn't know much about them. Greep is the one that turned me on to him, Robert Grieper, my buddy, and I didn't know jack about Clutch, man, and I became a huge fan. I bought all their CDs. They got like 20 or something. I love Clutch, man. They are absolutely fantastic. A little Electric Worry. Enjoy it, baby. Dan Mick says, I wish I got to see Rush. Yeah, Rush was awesome, man. Awesome. Let's see. What else do we have here? Time for a Jello Pop. That's what Super Boom Shack says. Oh, are you a fan of Spanish music? Not Spanish pop music. Okay. I'm a fan of Latin jazz, things like that. Paquito de Rivera, Ruben Blades, I'm more into the musicians, okay, not into the pop stuff in Spanish. I really don't get into it at all on the pop side. But if I can see is it Jeremy? Oh man, I have a couple of his CDs. I want to say it's Jeremy. I don't know if it's Jeremy Rodriguez or Hernandez. Really, really good. I've got Mario Bauza, things like that. I listen to that kind of Latin music. That's what I'm into. I've seen Paquito in concert. I've got those are the kind of things that I usually listen to in Spanish music. I really don't go for the pop stuff at all. Clutch is one of my favorite bands. So good. Oh, yes, they are. They are. I'm just waiting for 21 Pilots to tour again. Well, Alex, I got to tell you, man, I've seen 21 Pilots a couple times, and I've told people this several times. It is one of the 10 best stage shows I have ever seen in my life. And it's just two guys because it's 3 stages. They've got the main stage. Then they've got a middle stage that they have a bridge that connects to it. And then they've got a third stage. And that third stage has these lights coming down and all that. And it's really, really cool. And I've seen the concert from the bowl. Okay. Not smoking a bowl, on the bowl, and then on the floor. So I've had both experiences. And I love 21 Pilots. I'm a huge fan of 21 Pilots. The singer is ultra talented. Okay? I mean, those are 2 musicians. A lot of times in new music, I get frustrated with bands because I kind of know that they're not really writing their own music and they're not really good musicians and they're depending on electric and computers and kind of crap like that. These 2 cats, they're badasses, bro. And that guy, the lead singer, I forgot his name now, but that dude plays several instruments, can sing, he writes the music. Really, really good, man. Really, really good. And the drummer must get tail like it's going out of style because he does all his concerts without a shirt, and the kid is cut up. So he must be like you, and you. He must be like Madeline, is it Madeline Kane? Was her name? Was it? Did I get it right? From History of the World, Part 1. Yes, 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 no. Yes, 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 no. Yes. That must be that guy at the end of by the end of a show. Okay. My wife is a huge fan of Luis Fonsi, and my grandma loves Julio Iglesias. To all the girls I've loved before. No Sepultura. Oh, I don't get into the real heavy metal like Sepultura, Man of War, that kind of stuff. No, I that's kind of not my thing. You know, I get to like Metallica and Pantera are probably the farthest I go to get to thrash metal. I'm not really a thrash metal, death metal guy. I can't listen to people that are constantly screaming. So that's where I struggle with that. It is Madeline Kahn. I was right. Okay. God, I love that movie. History of the World Part 1. That is a fantastic movie, man. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of that like button while you're watching here. Really appreciate it. Did you guys see the Mia Hamm card went for $34,000? A woman's card actually goes for $34,000. Is that cool or what? Shows you kind of progress we're making in our country, that people are actually also paying for women's sports cards. That is so awesome, man. Mia Hamm, $34,000. It's most expensive female card ever. Her rookie card just set a record for the most expensive female sports card ever, smashing the previous record. The 1992 Sports Illustrated for Kids rookie card, graded a perfect 10 by PSA, hit the auction blocks at Golden Auction a few weeks back, and over the weekend, the card sold for $34,440. The price makes this the card most expensive female card ever, more than doubling the previous record, which was Alex Morgan, which went for $16,000. Pretty amazing. Mia Hamm. Very likable person, Mia Hamm. It's one of those that, like, if you have a daughter, you wanted her to check out Mia Hamm and kind of follow in her footsteps. That's pretty cool. I'll give you this. Some of you that are asking about crypto and stuff like that, I do have a crypto story. Billionaire Bitcoin owner Mircea Popescu has reportedly died, leaving behind a cache of virtual currency and a controversial crypto legacy. The Bitcoin pioneer, who was believed to have owned over $1 billion in the world's number one crypto, making him, at the time, one of the asset's larger single holders, died off the coast of Costa Rica, according to a Spanish-language publication, Teletica, which reported last week that a foreigner had drowned at Playa Hermosa de Garbito, Punta Arenas, in Costa Rica, describing the victim as a 41-year-old Polish origin. However, Popescu is a well-known name in Romania, and he's been described on some sites as a Romanian entrepreneur and blogger. Popescu was viewed as a pioneer in digital assets and was one of the early adopters. An article in Bitcoin magazine written that Pete Rizzo said that Popescu was known for starting MPEX, a Bitcoin securities exchange, around the same time Coinbase Global launched. At mid-April's peak this year, Popescu's Bitcoin holdings would have been worth nearly $2 billion. At last check, Bitcoin prices are at $34,295, up 3.2% on the day. Ethereum's blockchain was trading at $2,079, over 13%. Amid reports the world's largest crypto trading. Popescu's reported death was circulating in crypto circles, with some wondering where his holdings would go. Can you imagine if nobody knows his passwords and they are gone and nobody can get to the Bitcoin? Wow. That all that does is raise the value of all the rest of the Bitcoin. Somebody's got to have it, right? I mean, that's crazy, dude. $1 billion, man. Yeah, well, it could have been $2 billion now. You hang on and you'll get it. But wow. And 41, man. He's 41 years old. He had a whole world of life to live and enjoy crypto and enjoy that money that he made. Damn. Big O, were you a big fan of Nirvana? They were one of my favorite rock groups growing up. I love Nirvana. Nirvana's awesome. Hell yeah. Love Nirvana. Madeline Kahn. Oh, it's two. Yes. It's two. Yes. That's Young Frankenstein. Yes. Let's see. What else do we have here? As my musical tastes are varied, would all you ridicule me for the rest of my life if I told you I've seen Barry Manilow in concert 28 times? Wow. I've seen him 4 times. So I'm with you. I like Barry. I got no problem with that. Barry Manilow does a great job, man. I'm with you, Lisa. I can't make fun of you. I go see Barry Manilow too. I mean, the dude's a legend. A lot of great songs. Corrosion of Conformity, Pantera, and Down. Love them in my 20s. You don't love them now? Don't you still love them? Lisa says he is amazing. I've also seen Metallica, GNR, and Iron Maiden several times too. Yeah, I'm with you on all of those. Actually, that line was Blazing. Oh, yes, it was. That's right. Yes, it was Blazing Saddles. You're right. It was. You're right. You're right. You're right about that. So, yeah, the dude actually died with $1 billion of crypto left. That's some crazy stuff right there. All right. It looks like I am going to wrap it up, folks, here. We did a little 2 hours. Got to be in the right mood in these days. Oh, are you a fan of Flyleaf? I don't know what the hell that is, dude. You've got me now. You've got me with some Spanish music that I have no idea, and now you threw something at me called Flyleaf. I have no idea what the hell that is. Did I enjoy Soundgarden? Hell yeah. Of course. Moondog Trading says, I am the best TA guy on YouTube, but I get my news from Big O. I love you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Moondog. I appreciate you, man. So you're the best tits and ass guy on YouTube? Is that what TA stands for? Because that's all I know what TA stands for. Right? I mean, so way to go, dude. Hopefully you're single and you can say those things. Okay. Put your Yahoo email in the chat so I can email you the link. Oh, sure. Of course. It's Big O Radio Show. It should be easy to remember. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. There you go. So you guys can send me anything you want. You know what? I'm going to put it in the crawl too. So that way it comes out every time we're talking and all that good stuff. And you guys can see it. But Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Send me anything, any ideas, anything you have, any comments, any complaints, all hatred. Lead it all to that email. Okay. All the hatred. And don't forget to smash the hell out of that like button, man. We need to squash the hell out of that like button. I appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all for tuning in and supporting us. I got to give a little love to the folks that gave us love on the super chats. Ray, of course, Grullon, Randy Gonzalez, O'Shea Morris, Devin Jordan. I thank you all out there for giving us a little love on the super chat. Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. There you go. Love you all out there. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. We will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And remember, Omar Kelly starts with us on Mondays, next Monday and Friday from here on out. Not this Friday. He'll start next Monday. But Monday and Friday, we will have Omar Kelly exclusively here on the show every week. You'll get to hear him 8 times a month. So we'll be able to talk to him on Mondays after games. We'll be able to talk to him on Fridays before the games, and more things to come, man. Appreciate all of you out there for your support. Without all of you out there, there's no way this thing happens. Without you hitting the like button, without you sharing the link to the shows, whether it's the podcast, whether it's the YouTube version, visiting our sponsors, very important, man. Let's grow this thing and let's get this thing going. We will see you guys tomorrow. I love you all out there. Please be safe.